Well, hi Bob, thanks for joining us. As always, a pleasure to have you here. Let's jump straight into it, shall we? The final week of the month is upcoming. Is there anything we should be looking at in regards to macroeconomics?
Busy week ahead for the US dollar. Key stats early in the week, we're going to be looking at consumer confidence figures, particularly key from a consumption and economic outlook perspective for the US. On Thursday, we've got second estimate GDP numbers, core durable goods, and the all-important jobless claims figures. Market's going to be looking for a continued downward trend on jobless claims to support that economic outlook. At the end of the week, consumer sentiment figures will also draw interest. Those will be particularly key, supporting the consumer confidence figures from early in the week and obviously sentiment towards consumption. For the euro, German economy is back in focus. We got finalized GDP numbers on Monday along with IFO business sentiment figures. On Wednesday, we got consumer sentiment figures, and at the end of the week, it's the French economy back in focus, and we got consumer spending and finalized GDP numbers. Expect the German numbers to be particularly key. Obviously, that's a key contributor to the Eurozone economic outlook. For the pound, particularly quiet week, no major stats to consider. Upward trend for the pound likely to continue, supported by the reopening of the UK economy and some pretty impressive stats out of the UK of late.
Elsewhere, Bob, is there anything we should be looking at regarding to the commodity currencies, namely Canada, Australia and New Zealand?
For the loonie, no major stats to consider, so that leaves the loonie in the hands of market risk sentiment. The better the appetite for risk, the bigger the moves for the loonie, obviously following the hawkish Bank of Canada. For the Aussie dollar, we've got a quiet week ahead. Private sector credit numbers later on in the week will be the key area of focus. Obviously, the markets are going to be looking for a pickup in demand for credit to support that economic outlook. For the Kiwi dollar, it's a busy week ahead. Retail sales figures for the first quarter at the start of the week. Then we got trade data and the all-important RBNZ monetary policy decision on Wednesday. Will the RBNZ deliver a hawkish message to give the Kiwi dollar a boost? Remains to be seen.
And what about the Asian giants, Bob? Japan and China, what should we be looking out for there?
For the Japanese yen, quiet week ahead, no major stats to consider. So that's going to leave COVID-19 numbers and obviously vaccination rates across the region in Asia, the main area of focus. For the Chinese yuan, also no major stats from China to consider. So we're going to be looking at geopolitical risks there and any friction between China and the West.
And finally, as always, Bob, we like to finish with geopolitics. Is there anything catching your eye in regards to that?
On the geopolitical risk front, as just mentioned, obviously US-China relations remains a key area of focus. No major news recently to consider, but always needs monitoring. And then there's obviously the Middle East and Iran. Nuclear agreement, that's going to be a key area of focus. Will that agreement come into place? There's Iranian elections that just happened. So how will that influence relations with the West and ultimately stability within the region?
Bob, thank you so much. An absolute pleasure as always. Take care and we'll speak to you again very soon indeed. And thank you everyone else for watching. This was The Week Ahead. And don't forget to head over to our Dukascopy TV social media platforms to keep up to date with everything happening there. Until next time, goodbye.